What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Welcome to Saya's Domain, where we talk a lot about politics as well as the entertainment industry, because as we well know, the entertainment industry is dribbling with a lot of politics today. And today we are seriously going to be talking about both, because there is somebody from the entertainment industry that made a post that I came across recently that I believe that it is highly irresponsible for him to do that. And most of his posts that usually come out, they do come out from clips of his own show that he talks about political related situations, and this is about policing. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about Trevor Noah, who's a mainstream media entity and a big influencer at that. And I'm also going to be talking about three different situations when it comes to the police, because when it comes to police in the US and policing in the US, we have split opinions. We have the conservative opinions, and we also have the leftist opinion, or the liberals opinion, or the Democrats opinion. So basically you have people split from the right and the left, and you would hardly find people having opinions that are non-biased. It is very, very hard, but it does exist. But anyway, today I'm going to be going over these three cases because people tend to always want to see things black and white. We see people from the right always trying to defend the police, and when it comes to the situations such as this, they would want to dig up some past about the victim, the person that died, or the person that was harassed, that maybe this person had a past history of maybe crime or what have you, without actually looking at the context of exactly what went down. When it comes to the left, they're always like, police is guilty, guilty. We need to do something about the police. We need to defund them, or we need to stop the police or eradicate them. As people like AOC have said in the past, that policing, that America does not need policing at all. A lot of leftists have said that. Black Lives Matter have said that. So today I want us to look into three different police cases that have surfaced recently. One happened in December, another one happened in February, and one more recently in April. So we're going to be looking at these three cases, give our own fair assessment about policing. I'm also going to talk about the post that I saw Trevor Noah posting that I seriously believe is highly irresponsible. Now, without much more rambling, let's jump straight into the stories, and I'm going to be sharing my own opinion. Please feel free to share yours in that comment section below. But before we do any of that, if you guys can hit that like button below on this video, it will be a massive help to me, as well as do consider subscribing if you are yet to do so. I talk a lot about politics on this station, and I also talk about the entertainment industry and the sort of divisiveness that some of these political opinions are causing in America and in and around the world. So if you like those sort of things, please do consider subscribing and help me out by sharing the video, as many people have been saying they are not getting any notification from my videos. I don't know why YouTube is doing that. It could be a shadow ban thing. I have no idea, but many people are getting my videos through sharing nowadays. So if you can help me out by sharing as well, it'll be a massive help to the channel. Now, with that important spiel out the way, let's get straight into the order of the day. So the first shooting happened in New Mexico sometime in February, I think on February 4th this year, where a police officer named Jarriot was pulling a routine traffic stop, as he was asked to do so by the Homeland Security, as we're finding out now. Now, he pulled over a man called Omar Felix Cueva, who happens to be a drug dealer, and at the time, and even till his demise, the police officer had no clue who this person was. Now, in the conversation that I saw from the video, which I'm not going to play on this channel, it's all over the place, you can find it if you Google it, I think he was saying that he pulled him over because of some tinted glasses, and also wanted to find out if this guy had insurance and what have you. Now, before he went over to run his check, he noticed that Omar Cueva actually had a rifle, so he asked him for his rifle, and Omar Cueva agreed to pass him his rifle. Now, the conversation between both of them lasted about 3 minutes, and within that conversation, everything was cordial until Omar Cueva got down. Now, the moment he got down, the police officer could not see his hand because the ute, or the pickup truck, was actually blocking him from actually seeing it. And in the space of moments, he releases fires, shot at the police officer. He goes around off camera and shoots the police officer a lot more, and then runs off. Then Homeland Security shows up in about a couple of seconds later, about 30 seconds, as lawyers are saying today, and they went into a shootout with this drug dealer. I heard he was shot about 12 times or so, leading to his demise. Now, when you take a look at this case, is it fair to just judge police officers and say police officers are evil or bad, or police officers do not care? Now, is it also fair to say that the police officers' lives don't matter? This guy had a wife who who was pregnant, and 3 children. Now, he didn't know that on going to work the next day that he wasn't going to make it back. His kids didn't know that he wasn't going to make it back. So I want us to have this at the back of our mind before we place a collective judgment on policing and police officers in the US, because right now a lot of people, even people that are close to me, seem to believe that police officers in the US are highly racist and that everything they do is highly racially motivated and that they don't care about people. Would you say that Officer Jarriot, who just gave his life for the sake of Homeland Security, who are pretty much irresponsible in this particular case, in my own opinion, from so far the report that I have read, would you say that that police officer does not care? Anyway, let's move on to case number 2. Now, in case number 2, this happened in Virginia, where a veteran who had just bought an SUV was driving without the license plate properly displayed, or at least that is what the police were reporting, although the license plates were displayed at the back of the car, inside of the car, I think where the glass is, or where the glass window is, and not really on the back where it normally should be. So he was pulled over at night and he continued to drive for about a minute or so, for a mile and a half, according to what they said. He pulled over at a traffic stop. Now, these 2 police officers, they asked him to stop, pull over, and get out of the car. The car was window tinted. So in the first instance, a lot of people were saying that the pullover was racially motivated, but there was no way these police officers could have seen whether it was a black person or a white person. Now, the veteran himself has been described as an Afro-Latino. Now, it suits the media or the mainstream media to describe him as an Afro-Latino when it suits them, but when it doesn't suit them, they would just generally say this person is a Latino or whatever. But they needed to make you know that he's not just a minority, he's a minority. But anyways, these police officers, they pull him over, they start giving him a set of instruction. Now he's recording the whole situation, but he has his hands outside, showing them that he means no harm. He identifies himself as a veteran. The police officers, one of them, I think his name is Gutierrez, Joe Gutierrez, who happens to also be a Hispanic person, but this time around they don't describe him as a Hispanic, Afro-Hispanic, because probably he's white Hispanic, and that would suit the media to say another white supremacist and systemic racism thing going on there. Also identified himself as a former veteran and started asking him a whole list of a range of questions, and told him about 6 or 7 times, both police officers yelling that he should get out of his car, but he did not comply. So this police officer walks up to him, knows that his hands are outside, and started warning him to unlock his belt and get out of the car several times. But he kept on asking the police officers, saying that what has he done? Why is he being pulled over? He drove for a while, but he pulled over at a place that was safe, in a fuel station where things were well lit, and it is safe for both the police officers and the veteran himself. The veteran is a second lieutenant in the army, and he was so curious as to what was going on. Now, he said in his own testimony that he was scared, and that's why he didn't get out. And look, I can understand from the point of view from where he's coming from. I can also understand from the point of view where a lot of people from the right are saying, why not just cooperate with the police officer? Why not just obey and follow the orders? And if you feel that you have been mistreated, you can have your day in court, which I do believe is a very, very good advice, because if you're cordial with the police, don't give them the reason to do anything bad to you. Now, if there's one thing I would like to thank Obama for, is that Obama made that request of $253 million to actually provide body cams to these police officers. So if you comply and you are safe at the end of the day, the body cam can actually save you, and also record the whole event like this veteran did. He recorded everything. People from the right who are defending the police said that they were probably agitated, they were scared. And if you really look back on the first case that I said, there is no reason for these police officers not to be scared. But in the other hand, when you look at things from the side of this other man, the veteran himself, he wasn't being aggressive. He wasn't trying to do anything that would put the lives of the police officers in danger. He had his hands out, and I don't think that they had to have escalated it up to this point. If there is one thing I noticed, and one huge mistake that these police officers did, as soon as the veteran asked what did he do, they should have explained to him, because he wasn't violent, he wasn't doing anything wrong, he followed the law to the letter. And As far as what I understand in America, if you're pulled over in the dark, even police officers, they usually instruct you to drive to a well-lit area before you stop in a routine traffic stop. But somehow these police officers, they turned this from a routine traffic stop to a felony stop. Now, a felony stop would be something that should have happened in the first case, whereby they already knew that this guy was a drug dealer or a rapist or a murderer or something like that. That's when you pull a felony stop. But these police officers were pulling a traffic stop, and all of a sudden they turned it into a felony stop. So they made a huge mistake. At the end of the day, Officer Gutierrez, the Hispanic officer, came over and pepper sprayed this guy. They harassed him. They pulled him out of the car. Now, some of the things they did, they have the right to do it, but what led to it was an absolute mistake and an absolute error. At the end of the day, the police officer Gutierrez has been fired. And some people on the right say, no, this is not something worth him being fired for. But personally speaking, I do think that it was right for them to fire him because he wasn't being professional. Now, I don't know whether what he did was racially motivated, but when you look at that video, trust me, it really doesn't look good from any side. I can't see anybody who would really defend the latter actions that this person took. Although I see some people on the right trying to say he tried to de-escalate it. He changed his gun from some lethal weapon to a less lethal weapon like a taser, and from taser he changed it to a even less lethal weapon like a pepper spray. But the thing is that what he has done to the veteran is he has violated that veteran's human rights, and he should be absolutely fired for that, in my own personal opinion. I'm not a police officer, but I'm just saying my own opinion. I may be right or wrong, but let me know in the comment section below. Now let's move on to number 3. Number 3 happened in Minneapolis, where a man called Dante Wright was being pulled over another traffic stop, and then later on, when they ran information, they found out that this guy had a warrant for his arrest. Now, while they were conducting the arrest, he struggled with the police officer, tried to get back into his car, and an officer named Kim Porter, I think, decided to draw her taser. Unfortunately for her, she mistakenly drew her gun, shot at this kid, and the kid drove off and later ran into a tree or crashed the car, from what I gathered. Now, before she shot, she yelled out, "Taser, taser, taser," and then she shot. And after she shot, right after she shot, she said, "Oh shit, I shot him." Like, she was like perplexed that she actually shot a gun instead of a taser. And so that was a mistake on her part. This happened recently, and this has led to a lot of looting and destruction of property. This is what I want to say about these 3 different cases. As far as I'm concerned, these are 3 different cases showing 3 different scenarios, showing a position where a police died, another situation where a police was absolutely wrong, and maybe some parts of the victim, maybe in some parts he may have been wrong, but I don't really see it. If you do, please let me know. And then in the last part, the police is making a mistake, probably due to fear, adrenaline, and what have you. Now, so I haven't seen all these 3 scenarios. Should we just make a quick judgment over policing in America? Well, this is what Trevor Noah had to say in a post that I saw yesterday. Let me just quickly whip out my phone and read this. He said, "The police don't care if you're a member of the military or beloved member of the community. They don't care if you are recording them. Shit, they don't care if they are recording themselves. They don't care because they know they are going to get away with it. And until that changes, they're just gonna keep on not caring." So imagine this. Mainstream media or people like this are pushing information to the everyday average people who are watching them, who are being influenced by them. They would start thinking in reality that the police don't care. What do you think this is going to affect or imbibe into people? It is going to imbibe a lot of anger towards the police, and these may cause hostilities, and this may also lead to the death of more people, because people already have it in the state of mind that the police is their enemy. Now, I spoke with a relative of mine that actually lives in America, who's lived there for about 7 to 8 years, and she said to me that in the last 7 to 8 years that she has been in America, living in New York and now in New Jersey, she said that her entire encounter with police officers have been very cordial. They have been very, very nice. So for the most part, police do care. She actually even told me that one time she wanted to make an illegal U-turn somewhere, and a police officer was actually flashing at her not to do it for the longest of times, but she did not notice. Eventually, when she was pulled over, the police officer said to her, "I tried to stop you from making that wrong U-turn because I knew it was wrong strong and I knew you were going to make it from the signals that you were giving. So I tried to stop you, but unfortunately you've done it. It's been recorded. Once again, thanks to Obama, and she was given a ticket and she was let go. Now, if we think that way, that policing or police officers are cordial with us and we try to be cordial with police officers, I do believe that this would save more life. Now, Dante Wright unfortunately died, and I don't think in any shape or form that he deserves to die. And anybody, I don't care whether you're from the right or from the left, to start digging up his past, that he's a felon or he's wanted or there's a warrant for his arrest, you're a nut job. Seriously speaking, when it comes to the death of anybody, they don't deserve to die just like that. But as for Omar Cueva, I do believe, like the Bible said, do not be deceived, for God is not mocked. Whatsoever thou sowest, so shall he reap it. I think he reaped what he sowed. He lived by the sword or by the gun, and he died by the gun. So that's all fair and square. So for me, when it comes to this policing situation, I think we should all believe that there's always a gray area. We should take our time, watch the entire video before we make our judgments on the police officers or on the victims themselves, so that we can actually be thinking as human beings and not thinking as either a conservative versus a left-winger or a left-winger versus a conservative. And we should make like what the Bible said in James 1:19. Let every person be quick to hearing, slow to speak, and slow to anger. If we do that, I don't think that all these riots will be happening. But unfortunately, reality is that these riots, I think they are being bought and paid for, and they will always be happening when situations like this happen and when it favors them. But more on that on another video. Anyway, this is all I had to say about this whole thing. I want to know what you have to say in that comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, please do consider hitting that like button, as it is massively important, and also do consider subscribing. I've mentioned it before and I'll mention it once again. People aren't getting notification from this video, so if you could help me out by sharing it with your friends as well, I would massively appreciate it. Now I'm gonna let you guys get on by with your business, and I'll be talking to you guys again real soon as I find something really important that I need you to know about. Now I want to say, take care of yourself, have a great rest of your week, and please be safe out there. Be safe out there. Police are just human beings with a gun and are prone to mistakes. So try as much as possible to be safe out there. With that, I'm gonna say peace, and Saya's out of here. Catch you guys on the next one.